So, as some of you may know, Ninjago Shatterspin was seemingly cancelled due to the publisher going bankrupt. But apparently, it just ended up on Amazon and now everyone can read it. So, I did, and I loved it. I don't really read that much. Heck, the only book I've ever finished was Quest for the Lost Powers, and I'm currently making my way through Star Wars Jedi Battle Scars, which I learned about from the game. Basically, I'm not a reader. I like comics more than books because I get a clearer vision of what the author was trying to convey. You might think the reason for that is because I'm as unimaginative as that one Ninjago crystallized poster. And to that, I say you're correct. But I am getting off topic. You're here to listen about my thoughts on Ninjago Shatterspin. So strap in and let's rant about more Ninjago. The first thing I wanted to mention is the characters. There's a ragtag group of kids that Garmadon has to train, and I actually memorized all of their names. Warby, Asa, Iziri, Balun, and Zuri. They have great chemistry and banter together, but I feel like the loss of Asa at the end of the series should have felt just a tad more. It's been established that they've been together since they were born, and it would be better if they actually mourn his loss. I get it was the end of the comic, but they couldn't at least fit in one more page of someone like Warby mourning his loss saying, "We'll find you, Asa," and that could have been like the ending note. But we can't really talk about the kids without talking about Garmadon, as he's the real star of the show in my opinion. His whole arc is about how learning to teach others, and it wrapped up pretty quick, not gonna lie. There's this talk between him and Mama Mawa to motivate him to teach, and it's pretty well done. It's taken entirely seriously, and even though Mama Wama... Okay, who thought of this name by the way? Mama Mawa was getting Garmadon to teach the kids was for her own gain. She's a great pep talker. It's even better when you realize it was all part of her plan. Developing a villain and a hero in the same scene is not something a lot of forms of entertainment can do, but the comic pulls it off so nicely. The last thing I'd like to say about Garmadon is at the end when he's tempted by his darker side to fully give in to Shatterspin. It caught me entirely off guard when I just scrolled to the next page and see that face. His motivation is great, what with him wanting power to end the Serpentine War. Fills in a lot of blanks from the Season 4 flashbacks, and that is greatly appreciated. Now let's talk about the villains, or villain. As the Lycan King isn't really the star of the show. Zayden Kane is an okay villain. Her motivation is basically to just rule all of the wildness. But the way she does it is pretty smart. She manipulates one of the 5 ancestors to turn him into a wolf to eventually control. I'm not kidding, by the way. I'm just saying her reveal could have been done a bit better, because it's less anticlimactic than I would have expected. None of the characters even react, it's so weird. And I'm just saying, if one of the kids saw a picture of her, they'd put 2 and 2 together faster than you could say Raising Cane's. Okay, I swear that's the last joke, I promise. One of the downsides is that she leaves us with so many questions. How does she know so much about the 5? Was she part of the Wolf Clan? Is she a sorceress? If not, then how is she so strong? These are just a few of my questions. She's fine and definitely better than the Lycan King, don't get me wrong, but she still isn't that fleshed out. The last thing I want to talk about is the world building. The comic does so much for the 5 and their backstory. I love the lore behind them, like the wolf masks, and even the capital city of the Wolf Clan, that being Lupendis. I mean, an entire country lived under their rule, maybe even in prosperity. The last thing I forgot to mention is that the characters are on the side of the Wolf Clan. Yeah, the kids say phrases like "thank the 5" and they're even the last descendants of the clan. I love the subversion of expectations here because they play it off so well. We all know the five were evil, of course, but this expands on their rule, knowing that they tricked citizens in the Wolf Clan in Lupendis that they were actually the good guys. Knowing they ruled the wilderness to leave no enemies to ruin Lupendis is just such a cool idea. So, in conclusion, Ninjago Shatterspin is a great read. The characters are great, the world building is even better, and even if the first 2 or 3 books are a bit slow, the rest of the comics do wonders for the plot. In my opinion, it's a great story for all Ninjago fans alike. Oh, and one more thing! Buck Buck is the best character in the entire comic, fight me on that.